Well, this is episode 2.
Episode 2
of the Okie Podcast. In case you don't know what that means, we're all from Oklahoma.
Yep. Fuck Texas. Glenn Powell's cool though, and Matthew McConaughey.
And Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Post Malone's
Those are the
cool.
3 Texans I can tolerate. They get a pass.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else.
Matthew
C.J. Brown,
Anyway.
quarterback for the Texans.
Oh. That's CJ Stroud.
Yep.
We went and watched the new Twisters movie in 4D. Yeah, think of it like a roller coaster inside of a movie theater, and you're stationary.
If you've ever been to Universal Studios and you've done like the Spider-Man 3D ride or the Harry Potter indoor rides, it's literally just that in
Or
your
the
local movie
Transformers
theater. Or
ride.
Transformers, anything like that. It's not as complex, but it's the same like movement technology, rain, all that kind of stuff.
Like whenever there's wind, it'll blow wind at you. Whenever it's windy, it'll just blow wind through the theater. If there's lightning, lights will flash.
Yeah.
Warning: if you have epilepsy, don't
Don't
not go
do
do
it.
it.
do not go
Don't
watch
do
it.
it.
Do
Don't
not
die.
go watch it
Don't die.
like that.
Yeah,
And
but-
whenever it rains, you know.
Yeah, just stuff like that. But we can get into that later because I have seen a few other movies in 4D, and this one was
This one was by far the best.
very different.
Very good movie.
But to the movie itself, this one kind of came out of nowhere because no one expected Twister to get a sequel. Sorry.
Also, let's just talk about that. It was the first movie to be on DVD.
It was the first movie to be on DVD. That's a really interesting fact. I
If you didn't know that.
didn't know that until a couple of years ago.
Well,
I actually lived in
party
Oklahoma my whole life. I never watched the movie Twisters. So another fun fact. I didn't watch it. She actually made me watch it.
I
for
had
the
to
first
make
time.
him watch the first movie.
Yeah.
Zane, have you seen the first
Yes,
movie?
I've seen the first
Okay,
movie.
thank God. I was about to have a
From
panic
Oklahoma.
attack. I was about to
Yeah.
say, hold on, we need to stop this and go watch Twisters. If you haven't seen Twister, pause this right now and go watch it.
'cause I'm
I
about
don't
to
know
say
what it's
something.
on. Just go watch it. Okay?
Belts do not save you from tornadoes. That is false propaganda.
Yes. The whole... I love the movie. It's my mom's favorite movie because we like to tear it apart. There's like, as amazing as it was for the time that it was filmed, there's a lot of plot holes or just like things that would happen. Like if you grew up on a farm and you've run through a cornfield, you get scratched like horribly.
Yeah.
And in that movie, at the very end, they're running through a cornfield to get away from this tornado. And they leave with no scratches. Like, that makes no sense.
Where'd that
Where
bring
did you guys...
Back to me. And so, nice segue by me, I know. Great.
There wasn't really a whole lot of that in this movie either.
No, there was segues, yeah. There's not a lot of segues. It wasn't filmed in no mall. There wasn't good
That's so
transfers
funny.
in scenes. There was a really good transition I really liked. And that's when Glenn Powell's character goes into the barn and it transforms into the scene of her past boyfriend going in there filming her. Really great transition. And it was very smooth, too. You barely even noticed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It took me a second to even realize that was happening.
Yeah.
The camera work's amazing. I don't know if that's what we were eventually going to talk about, but I loved the camera work.
Yes.
It seemed like it focused on what you needed to focus on. Even if it wasn't the main thing, you had to focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved the tornadoes in this. The biggest one was the first one. That was the biggest one. I watched a YouTube video breaking down the size of the tornadoes. The second biggest one was the last one.
Yeah.
After that was the fire one. One after that was the twins. And I think that's it. But those, very good. There's a lot of scenes that kind of... Okay, this movie's a giant blue ball. You
my
think
God.
Glenn Powell and this woman's gonna kiss? There's so much tension. It's like you're jumping on a trampoline and the spring's just about to break. That's how much tension's in there, and they just don't kiss. But there is a deleted scene of them kissing. They just took it out, so it didn't seem like a modern heroine gets saved by the hero movie like other ones, like Twister.
Oh, yeah, they became friends and bonded over tornadoes.
Yeah.
And they're dating, but we're not going to tell you that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and I agree. I have seen a few reviews say that like they didn't like how much it focused on those two like having a relationship or like oh, is she gonna get with Javi?
I
Or
didn't
is
like
she gonna
that.
get with that? I didn't like that. Like, yeah, I didn't like that there was
Yeah.
like a weird love triangle that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, because for me, that kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Which
Why would a friend, like they were friends and they both went through something? He was there when her boyfriend died,
yeah, well here
and now he wants her.
Let's go over the plot because we didn't even discuss. We should probably open with the
We're
plot
just
first.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just talked about the movie, didn't even.
Yeah,
I
So
apologize.
Daisy Edgar Jones plays Kate. She is the main character in the film. At the beginning of the film, she's a college student, and her big project to get her a grant for school is she thinks she has technology that you can shoot up into a tornado, so you can essentially kill a tornado before it gets too violent.
Absorb.
It's a bunch of
all the
chemicals.
rain.
I'm not even gonna try and get into like how they explain it because I'm not a scientist.
What they said in the movie, it's the stuff that's inside of diapers.
Yep.
Like how you make fake snow. It's literally that
Exopolarity
stuff.
fake.
You went deep into this, didn't you?
It's some random shit.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, I'm joking. I did. That is actually.
Did you actually?
Oh my god.
That's great. Because I was like, dude, you're just spitting out all these facts. When did you have time to watch this video?
Before I deleted TikTok.
Very cool. We're trying to avoid Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. That's the reason.
It always happens to me.
Every time.
Yeah.
Back to the plot.
Yep.
So Kate wants to stop tornadoes from happening, or before they cause damage to major towns, right?
Yeah.
So that her and oh my gosh, what is his name? Oh my god, Anthony Ramos. Sorry.
Yeah. He was in the Transformers newer movie.
In Rise of the Beast, he's also in Hamilton.
Yes.
That's like his biggest thing.
He was also in the Heights.
He was also in the
Freaking
Heights.
Amazing.
Great movie. He also has donated a bunch of money to Oklahoma schools since he came here. We met a lady who worked with him and it was his Uber driver while he was here. So Anthony, if you ever randomly see this,
We love you.
come on. Yes.
Yes.
Come on the podcast. But anyway,
Come on.
Javi and Kate and a few of their friends. Anna. You said Anna was one of them.
Anna was the girl.
And oh my gosh, was Devin the guy? Her boyfriend's name?
I don't remember.
Sounds familiar.
Devin was the boyfriend.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, okay. Awesome. They all go out and they try to do this experiment. They think it's gonna be a smaller tornado and they can just shoot it up into
failure?
there.
I'm trying to think of the Indian guy's name.
I don't remember him. Yeah.
It's okay. It's
It's
Anyway.
alright. He's not important. He dies.
It's with them trying to kill this tornado with this technology, and it fails because she miscalculated and they didn't
The
have enough
tornado
of the
was
stuff.
so much bigger.
Tornadoes also, yeah, it was way bigger. It's an EF5, which if you know anything about tornadoes, that's a lot of damage. It fails. The entire crew dies except for Kate and Javi. So Kate completely disassociates from life and she moves to New York. And Javi gets this business partner.
He goes into the military.
He goes into the military and meets his business partner, played by Superman, David Cornsweet.
Which was a douchebag in this movie.
He was such an ass. He was so not Superman.
But he did so well. I gotta say, if you hate a character that much, that actor did a phenomenal job.
did very
You
good.
love to hate him.
You love to hate him.
Love to hate him, yes.
So Javi gets this big deal to he wants to 3D image tornadoes, which is really hard because you have to get on 3 different sides of the tornado, which if you've ever been near one, extremely difficult to do without dying. They try to do that. In the middle of them trying to 3D image this tornado, they meet Glenn Powell's character, the tornado wrangler, Tyler Owens.
Tyler Owens.
Tyler Owens, the tornado wrangler.
Not
and
related
his-
to Rick Owens. Rick Owens is a fashion designer.
Okay. There just becomes this rivalry between Kate and Javi's group of scientists from Stormpar, and the Tornado Wranglers, who have this big YouTube channel, and they don't really care about studying tornadoes. They just care about making a show out of them. They drive in and shoot fireworks into one of them.
The truck is
Which
so cool.
honestly,
So cool.
so cool.
So
I
cool.
want to do that. If there are any storm chasers that see this, please.
Invite us on a ride.
We want to go so bad.
Yeah, and
we want to do it safely and professionally because
We're not doing it.
I don't wanna die.
Focus.
That would be really cool. Because they said they used they met with the top scientists for this movie.
Yeah.
They really consulted with
there were actual
the biggest
storm
weather.
chasers.
Yeah.
I've seen videos. You've sent me videos. They all knew exactly what was going on with the actual weather that was happening.
Yeah.
Really awesome touch to be we want the real fucking deal for this movie.
And so
I know one thing that inspired this movie A phone call made in 2011, and it was a guy driving away from a tornado, and once it got too big, the last words you can hear is come on, car," and he dies.
Is that really one of the inspirations?
Yep.
Fuck, that is depressing. So that's the plot. That's essentially it. It's just them battling it out over studying these tornadoes, and then
Pretty much just like, what group is better?
what group's better,
And who's morally correct?
Yeah, who's on the right side? Because you
Yeah.
can find out Stormpar is really going in to try and buy land off these people who their houses get destroyed and things like that. So
Sweeping everything out from under them that the tornado didn't take.
yeah, so Kate realizes all of this, or gets told all of this by Tyler Owens, and then she completely switches sides and starts working with Tyler's group. And Tyler convinces her to try her experiment with killing a tornado again, and he is also a genius when it comes to meteorology.
You find out
That they both went to school for meteorology.
Yeah, he's very country, very out, like going because
He is
he's
first
wild.
drive. Yeah, the first
Literally
drive, he's like,
wild.
they're all like showing their cans. And he's like, "Woo!" Then he gets to the scientist. And he's like, "Ah!" It's scary. It's just the
That's
funniest
one of the
shit
best
ever.
shots in the movie. Is there's that.
It was so good at making it fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Like whenever they were close to a tornado, it wasn't just scary.
Yes.
Like it obviously had that like horror factor, but it was also so much fun to watch them have fun because
So much
that's got to be
adrenaline.
so fucking awesome.
it's
What?
very-
I'm literally right next to a
Gets my blood
fucking
pumping,
tornado.
you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's-
I think that's what really added to the 4D experience too. Is because like when they were driving the cars, hitting
Yes.
bumps, like driving 80, 90 to go
like,
toward
like
tornado.
I said,
Felt like driving
you
on a-
feel
on
you
road.
were in there, yeah.
You feel the wind, you feel the bumps, you feel the holes in the ground that you can't see because the grass is so damn tall.
It really added to it. Like it really added to the
It was so
experience.
good.
And when it would rain, there was misters above you, and it would mist on
It
you,
would
and it felt like you would
mist.
actually rain. This
Yeah.
one had a fog machine this time, which
Yeah.
was weird.
Smelled
Never
funny, though.
experienced
smelled
that.
weird. Yeah, that
It
was
smelled
weird.
weird. I felt like I was being drugged.
Yeah,
I-
it
but-
did bother me a little bit because where we were sitting, I don't know if people in the back of the theater, because we were closer to the front.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was better for the people in the back, but like when the smoke machine would go off, you really couldn't see the screen for a few seconds until
But
it
that made
dissipated.
it so much better because it was like
Yeah.
right when the tornado was there, and it was like this is what they would see.
Yeah, just nothing. Like you certainly wouldn't see it
Like
until the
the
tornado pops
dust
up.
looked like it was actually there
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah, and I
I don't
like
know
that
how
a
you
lot.
felt about it.
No.
That's how I felt.
No.
I was like, man, this is so cool.
It does feel like
'cause
you were like surrounded by like the debris
Yes.
and stuff. So it added to it. What are you laughing about?
The best feature of the 4D experience is when they threw 2x4s at us 200 miles an hour.
The TikTok joke is if you see, it's a video on TikTok of this guy who's like, before going to see Twisters in 40, and then it cuts to after, and he's got like a fake 2x4 like through
Oh,
stomach.
oh my god! Yes, you showed me this.
It is so funny because I mean, like it was kind of scaring me because when I was buying tickets for it, I hadn't seen people on TikTok. Cause, we just saw it last night, and it's been out over the weekend. So everybody who had seen it like over the weekend was like, "Dude, I was fighting for my life in that theater in 40. Like it's like you're in a tornado. Like it's not even playing around."
Yeah. We had to throw ourselves up so many times.
Seriously, man, I got thrown all over. I hit the back of my head in the chair, dude. I was
I
getting
got
tossed.
manhandled
I
by a
was-
chair.
I was getting tossed like a salad.
Sorry, our president was just shot.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we didn't stop.
No, we're gonna pause.
So we had to cut because Zane spilled his drink.
Someone made a fucking mess. That's what she's trying to say.
So
Speaking of tossed salad, Glenn Powell.
Toss my fucking salad.
we had to cut again because Zane said some stupid shit.
We don't have to.
That was mildly offensive.
We had to cut again because
I messed
Zane
up.
cannot be quiet. Experiencing Twisters in the 4D theater, you really do feel like you're in the tornado. Like we just said, fog machines, all of that. You can feel the wind. You can feel the water when it's raining. It was so violent. I really did feel like I was being tossed
Dude,
around.
it was so violent.
I felt like I was having to squat in my seat
Yeah.
to try and like not move from how.
You want to get a leg workout? go watch Twisters at 40.
No, I was
No,
clenched
seriously.
in that fucking seat, dude. Trying
Oh.
to get in.
I had a pump by the end of the movie.
Like that kangaroo from that
My
video.
calves were fucking on fire. Because
I looked like Sam Sulek from the knee down.
It was so good. Honestly, I loved it. I am glad that was the first way I got to watch that movie.
Yeah, I want to go see it again outside of 4D so I can actually take everything in. I'll probably wait a week.
Yeah.
Probably go see it again.
Let it simmer down because
Really
we have
good.
another big movie on mind. Different movie.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the movie.
Deadpool and Wolverine, but we'll have a video coming on that. We can bring up
We'll
the
talk
movie,
about
bro.
that later.
Yeah, that's for next in a little bit.
Next in a little bit, yes.
The official goob rating of Twisters.
Yes. So
this is hold on.
let's explain the
Backstory.
gear scale.
So this guy, me and him play games together. We play online games.
Yeah.
This man one day got the idea. I'm gonna call myself the Goopster 3000. And ever since then, this man refers to himself as the Goopster in anything. He thinks he's the main character, so he calls himself the Goopster. He wants a comic book series about the Goopster. He wants a movie about the Goopster. And every few months, he levels up the Goopster. So he'll change. Hold on.
What?
So yeah, he does.
I didn't know it was this deep.
So
That's what she said.
So he started
The
off
Goopster
as
word's fucking crazy.
he starts off as the Goopster 3000.
Okay.
And then I get on Call of Duty like 6 months later, and this dude has went up to the Goopster 6000. And now he's changed his name to the Goopster 9000. And this is apparently not his final form.
Not his final form.
I'm sure we'll see the
There
Goopster
is
12,000
still
after
more
this recording.
growth coming.
So anyway, Zane here wants to do this thing at the end where we give it a Goob score. And it's his personal score on the
What the
movie.
Goopster rates
What does
it.
the Goob give this movie? How
We're gonna try to keep it on a scale of 1 to 5,
how Goobin is the film is what we're trying to say.
but
Does it goob, or did it goob?
Yes.
okay.
That's
So
good.
your Goopster rating on this is
Give us a Goob score.
I give the movie 4 goobs out of 5.
Why not a perfect score?
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Why it gets a 4 out of 5 on the goob scale? It's not goobed enough.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Is that it?
No.
Okay.
When I watch the sequels, I expect notions of the first one, even if it's small hints. Even if it makes no sense, I still expect hints to the first one. Going into this, watching it as everyone telling me it's the sequel to Twister, I didn't see a lot of notions of it, but that still doesn't make up for the amazing cinematography, acting, everything that would need to make a perfect movie. So it gets 4 goobs out of 5.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
And
that's fair.
going off of that, I agree. I also like when it was announced, I could have swore I'm probably wrong, and it definitely changed over time because I know now they were describing it as a standalone sequel to Twisters. Like it is in no way connected. There are definitely some references, but I also went into it thinking that there was going to be more connection to the first film. But I did like that they paid tribute to the Dorothy thing and the buckets with the little sensors like that. That was really cool that they were still using that technology. I didn't like that they kept the mom a secret. Like they kept hinting that her mom, at her mom the whole time.
Yeah,
Was gonna be Joe.
Yeah, maybe I read that wrong. But if you watch Twister, and you go watch Twisters, and you hear them talking about her mom and how she makes food for everybody at the very beginning of the movie.
Just every hint is just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this sounds like Aunt May, but Aunt May, Aunt May.
That's Spider-Man.
We got
I'm so
Marvel in the
sorry.
mind, okay?
We did have Marvel
in the mind.
But anyway, I can't remember her name.
Meg.
Aunt Meg from the
Meg.
first Twister. She's hinted to be like that
Aunt
kind of
Meg.
character, and at some point, Kate goes back to her mom's house because she hasn't been to her mom's house in years since the accident.
5 years.
5 years.
Yep.
And so when she goes back, even when they show her mom and she's like, "Oh, Mom, I'm home," they keep her mom her mom's in the back of the kitchen and she's completely in shadow. You see her silhouette walking,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's supposed to be this big reveal, and it's just not.
It's just some random.
It's just
lady.
some lady.
Not Joe.
Not that she's not just some lady. I know she's been in other stuff. My mom said she used to watch her in ER. She was a main character on that show for a long time. I didn't know who she was.
I had no idea.
I haven't seen her in anything that I've seen.
That's not to discredit her.
So
as
that's
She
an
was the
actress.
wife to George Clooney's character in ER.
Was she really? Interesting. Cool. Yeah. So that I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
I did.
It was just
You looked that up, didn't you?
A surprise.
Oh, I heard your mom talking when she was talking about it.
Oh, all right then. But yeah, I that takes away from it for me too, because I did expect at least some more hints to the first one.
Yeah. Now, I will say, a few of the phrases that they say in Twisters
Yeah.
are some, like, word-for-word phrases
From the first one, which is cool.
From Twister.
Yeah, they even
which
reference
is so nice.
Muskogee State University
Yes.
for science.
They do that. Oh my gosh, there's something else.
I did also like the dichotomy of... So yeah, I like how they put that there of like, oh, let's switch it up this time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the halfway through the movie, when she, gets to know Tyler, the first Twister, you're meant to root for the cowboy science guys who were just going out there and studying tornadoes because they think it's a blast. And you're supposed to root against the nerds who are like corporate funded and
they're just doing it for money.
Yeah, trying to get money. And they kind of flip that at the beginning. At the very beginning, you're rooting for Kate and Javi's team, who are corporate backed. They are the corporate nerds that you weren't supposed to root for, and they are the good guys for like the first like hour of the movie, because Tyler Owens, they play him as like this. He's just this like
out of pocket
wild boy who only cares about himself and the fame that he gets from chasing tornadoes on YouTube.
Yeah. Because he puts his face on a t-shirt.
Yeah, because he puts his face on a t-shirt. Because you can always trust the guy who puts his face on a t-shirt.
First Tornadeo.
Forced.
Tyler kind of drops hint of
like,
what
hey,
Stormheart is doing.
You're working for like this really bad
You're working
company.
for the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
He told him to search up Briggs. He said, search up who you're working for.
Yeah, and
she did.
Yeah, it's this old rich dude who comes and buys this land, and then she, it drives this big wedge between her and Javi, and I think that's where the love triangle thing, which it wasn't really a love triangle. They didn't really, like, I guess they did kind of play on it.
They were all friends, and it was just like, oh, you're hanging out with this crazy wild cowboy, but I've known you for years. I brought you out here. Like, what?
Yeah,
why are you going
right
with someone else?
But I think the other thing, add to what we were talking about earlier about like why was Javi into her? I don't think it was messed up that he was into her. They were just the only survivors, and there's a thing in psychology, like it's a trauma bond. It really is. Like he was like, hey, we're the two survivors, and he even like brings up to her like, do you ever think like, why are we the only two that survived? And so Javi has this idea in his head. I'm not speaking like for the character. He thinks that like, oh, we survived, we should stick together.
We survived for a reason.
Yes, and I think he turns it into like, oh, well, I think I have romantic feelings for this person. And I think it's because they survived something so tragic together and lost all their friends together. And it's not because he is actually romantically involved with her. Because even by the end, he's rooting for Tyler to get with Kate.
Yeah.
So.
It's like that kind of trope in the love triangle movie where the one guy realizes, oh, well, this is the guy for her.
Yeah,
it's
she's better. Yeah, he's better for her.
And this was like the opposite between Twister and Twisters. Like in this one, it was a girl and a guy that she had known for years, and this new guy. In Twister, it was Bill.
Yeah.
Engaged to
this scientist, or this
Melissa.
She was a psychologist.
Engaged to Melissa,
yes.
But in the middle of getting a divorce from Joe.
Because Joe was so obsessed with tornadoes.
Yes.
Definitely was the opposite. So yeah, because
it was like very similar, but also very different.
Yeah. Just like the direction of it, because Javi had known Kate for years, and in the first movie, it was Bill and Joe who had known each other for years, and they end up getting together at the end, or back together, I guess. But then this one, it flips, and the new guy that she meets is the one that ends up winning her over in the end.
Yeah.
Which I think that was.
I like the scene where he plants his truck into the driveway. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, when he's in the airport.
Yeah, the airport. The very ending was really good.
So hot.
I do have a favorite scene.
Okay.
Favorite scene?
When everybody dies at the beginning. And the reason why is actually a fun fact. David Cornsweet is going to play Superman. And Man of Steel, his dad died to a tornado, and he chases him in this movie. Thought that was pretty cool. But back to the main problem at hand. My favorite scene. I liked how they got sucked up into the air because it brought suspense to the movie, and that's what I liked about it.
I mean, suspense.
And it was, and then don't worry, I'm holding on. And it was like, and it was very good, and I really enjoyed that scene. It brought a smile. No, it didn't bring a smile. It's kind of depressing. It brought good feelings to me.
Okay. All right. Well, 4 people died, and Zane just thought that was a blast.
It set the tone. Literally, everybody started cheering after they all died because they were all like, "Oh, the scenes!"
Yeah, they were cheering because they died. Genius. Okay. Scarlett, favorite scene. I'll go last.
Man, I had it, and then Zane started talking, and my brain buffered.
My favorite scene, going off of Zane's crazy answer, is the rodeo scene. Specifically when they go to the hotel and they're arguing with each other.
The rodeo scenes.
Fun fact: the guy arguing when you go see it, the guy with the long black hair who's arguing with the hotel worker and his girlfriend is like, "Oh, there's no tornado happening. There's a tornado happening." The guy with the long hair is Bill Paxton, the star of the original Twister's son. Anyway, that's my favorite scene because when the tornado actually comes and they have to get down into the pool, which is drained.
Yes.
And they get underneath it.
One thing about that, I know I mentioned earlier, like Twister is a really good movie to like nitpick. Like some of the stuff is stuff that wouldn't actually happen, or just like whenever they're getting into the pool, there's literally like they're going down the ladder that's like in the deep end or like the 5-foot end, but literally like 6 feet from that is the entrance to the pool. So they didn't run down there; they just went down the ladder.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you go that way? It's like, why'd you go down the ladder and have to jump into the pool and like freak out about getting the kid down?
Yeah.
Instead of just running 6 feet that way. It would have been so much faster. I don't know. I literally saw that like as it zoomed out and like you saw the trailer where they were hiding and I was like, what?
I didn't see that. I was just entrenched.
Sorry.
My seat was also shaking like a bitch, so
Yeah.
I was.
But whenever she's like holding onto the pipe next to her mom, the mom is saying like, "It's okay, I got you."
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, I got you.
Yeah,
and then it goes up and shows Tyler, but it's not Tyler's face, it's Devin's face. It's the boyfriend's face.
Yeah.
And it's like a real PTSD moment for her because this is the first time she's been back in a tornado like this.
Yes.
And she has somebody, like, Tyler's the only person she knows there. That's literally the closest person she has at this place.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like a very good parallel.
Yeah.
And I like that they show his face and make it more emotional.
No, that was really good. The other thing that I noticed in that scene, I didn't notice that it was the boyfriend's face over Glenn Powell's face, or like, you know, they switched.
Mm-hmm.
What I noticed was you hear the mom, so this mom and her daughter are down there right next to them, and you know she's saying the exact same thing Devin was saying to her, like, just hold on, you'll be okay, I've got you, and just hold on, I've got you, you'll be okay. As she's saying that, as the tornado gets stronger, her voice drowns out, and yes, the camera does pan up more to Glenn's face. I mean, I wasn't looking to see if they, like, the Devin part, but I was looking for the mom, because you could see the mom underneath Glenn's, like, arm the entire time, but as the tornado got stronger, it slowly panned up to where you couldn't see her, and her voice just got quieter and quieter, and so it plays it like the mom and the daughter didn't make it. Like, in it, for a minute there, you actually don't see the mom and daughter again until they slowly turn around and you see the daughter and mom are still there, and she asked her, like, are you okay, are you hurt? And I thought that was my favorite part about it, is like,
Whenever she said, "Is it over?"
yeah,
I got
is it
fucking
over?
chills.
Yeah.
I got chills.
Yeah, and
Full body chills.
and even Kate, like, you see Kate's face too when she like has a realization that she doesn't hear the mom anymore. I caught that too. She has this realization of like, I don't hear the mom, like trying to console her daughter. And so when it pans out, she immediately looks and is like, are you guys okay? And they're there, and you see the relief like swarm over her. Definitely got to give it a second watch to like see that again, because that scene was.
You're gonna have to go watch it in a theater that's not
moving. But 40 was great.
Yeah.
Go try it. The coolest movie I've seen. By far the best movie to see in 4D is a weather movie.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Because you experience the elements.
Yeah, I felt like I was in the tornado, and that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Our theater was laughing their ass off because you were literally getting fucking thrown everywhere.
Yeah, and everybody was just laughing, people bobbing
Yeah,
and stuff. That's
every
the reason why
scene-
people cheered.
It was like it was
Yeah.
so many different people's first time seeing something like that, and
Yeah.
it's because Twisters is such a historical movie.
Yeah, I never knew a
Like-
movie theater that was full.
It's a movie about Oklahoma. You'd be dumb.
It's
to
a
think
movie
people-
about our
Yeah,
home.
yeah, you have to go see it. And I love how big of a pop it's getting from everywhere. Like, everybody's talking about it. Like, I
Yes.
follow this nerd
It's
page.
not just Oklahoma's talking about it; it's literally the entire country.
Yeah, like...
And there's so many people.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yep.
more people paying attention to
Yes.
the weather and being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Tornadoes are fucking crazy,
And it's crazy. Well,
and we just live here.
Well, the other thing, too, is, like, you had a lot of people that got into the meteorology field because of the original Twister. Like,
Yes,
like there was...
like they found their new
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
It's
And
because the movie.
I'm glad that this movie will give people that, especially
Yes.
because they actually, and they consulted with meteorologists on the first one, but this one they actually got down to, like, the science that they are explaining in the movie is meteorological
real
science.
science.
It is meteorology. And I think that is really cool, because that gave me a lot of bigger perspective, because they actually completely explain, like, they can explain dry lines and how a tornado forms.
Yes.
The actors learn that, and
Yeah.
they explain it, and so that helped me a lot. Yeah, because I know tornadoes. I'm from Oklahoma. Of course I do. I've been in a tornado.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we should talk about our tornado experiences in a second.
Oh,
That'd
yeah,
be
we
so
can.
cool.
We can do that.
That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
so crazy.
So-
Oh my god.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? We can just do that now and then
Okay,
we'll wrap up.
what was the first tornado that you guys ever saw or were ever in?
I was.
If you've ever been in
I
one.
have.
Okay.
You have? Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead,
lived
Zane.
in Dell City when I was very young.
Okay. Sorry, thought we just had a paranormal experience.
Sorry. I almost shit myself.
But as I was saying,
Continue.
my tornado experience was in Dell City
Del City.
with my bio mom. We were in Sonic, and I was
Very
wanting tater tots, and I was so and I got the toy, and then my mom was about to hand me my tater tots, and she was like, "Oh shit, there's a tornado."
Oh my god.
So she starts driving, and she's like, and then we drive to my house in Dell City, which was stacked full of people, and we have to go in the halls, and we put a mattress over me and my sister, and we just had to wait it out. When we went outside, my mom's car's windows were all shattered because of shit getting thrown in there. She had a mailbox in her passenger seat.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That was my first experience with a tornado.
Goodness. Do you have any more? Were you in any more?
I've only been in one other one,
Okay.
Okay.
and it
You wanna
wasn't
talk about that one?
it wasn't that far, but it wasn't. So I used to live in this trailer park, and down the road was a church. There was a tornado right next to that church, not close enough to us, but it was right next to the church, and all I remember is a lot of trailers started moving back because the air was pulling. It was only an E3, I think, but it didn't damage that much stuff, but it pulled a couple of trailers back, and we were in a cellar, and that was my second experience as one, and I think my last.
That's two. I've only been in one. And one, okay, so I was 11 at the time, living where I am now. And,
I think everybody that's around our age, like
yeah,
in their
we were
20s,
all, like, there for
definitely remembers
that
this.
one.
Like, I'm 22. I was in second grade when this happened.
Yeah, this is the only tornado that ever hit my town. Ever.
Yeah, I was 19.
In the history.
I wasn't. I'm 19 now. I was alive then, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, there was another one.
There was another one that hit. Oh, yeah.
It was years after.
Yeah, it was a few years back now. But
Anyway.
this is the first one. This was like
Yeah.
2010. 2010.
No, I was in second grade.
Almost.
No, it was 2010 because my mom was pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
okay.
I wasn't a conscious.
2010.
Yeah, it was
second
2010.
grade.
So anyway, I get home, and the air just feels heavy. Like when you get into a tornado, like before a tornado happens, it just feels heavy.
Yeah.
Everything
Like,
just
the air is really dense
it's
with
dense.
moisture.
It's
You
hard
can
to
feel
breathe
it.
through it, kind of.
yeah.
Like you can physically feel it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
than just like the thickest humidity.
It really is like really thick.
And it's not like a sticky humidity. It's
No.
just heavy
Yeah.
humidity.
Yeah.
It's so
It
weird.
just weighs on you literally. But anyway, So I go outside, and the other thing too is the sky is just like yellow, not like sunny, but like there's like a yellow, greenish haze around everything around you.
Yeah.
And we got a call from my aunt who lived in the city, and she was like, "Hey, just so you guys know, like this thing is headed right to you. I don't know if it'll hit you guys, but like it's headed right to your town." And seriously, by the time she made that phone call to my mom, we heard it coming. Like it had touched down, and it was going down the highway. It was going down Highway 177, and so we didn't have a shelter at the time. This is actually the reason we got a shelter. We get into my hallway. I have a little house, so we get right in the hallway. I threw my cat in the bathroom,
which is still a tradition to this day.
It is.
It is. We are always.
We put him in the tub. We put him in the tub so he'd be safe in there, right? And we just stack up, like, we grabbed the mattresses off of the beds. We had like 3 mattresses on top of us. We had every blanket we had, and it was seriously just like me, my mom, my brother, my dad was at work, all just cling to each other. And you could hear it coming. And I don't know, Zane, I'm sure you had this experience. If you listen to Luke Combs' song for this movie,
Ain't No Love in Oklahoma.
Ain't No Love in Oklahoma.
Very catchy.
Yeah, it's
really
a great
good.
song. Great song. The whole
it's
soundtrack.
about a tornado.
It is about a tornado. It's about tornado chasing. He says in the song, he's chasing a long black train.
The whistle of a long black train.
Yeah, you hear the whistle of a long black train. If you were in a tornado,
it sounds
in
like
its path,
it sounds like you're in a train.
Yeah.
Like all you hear is a.
Like when a train goes by on the tracks and they make the
Just
horn.
look up videos. Look up videos of people outside standing not close to tornado. Just look up videos of tornadoes.
The closest
and you
thing,
can hear it.
The closest thing that you could probably hear it close to it is an F1 like car race.
Yeah,
like because they're so loud and rapid. And that's what it sounds like.
I would even almost say like being on a roller coaster, but like times 10.
Yeah.
Because it's so loud, it's so monstrous. You have to think this thing is coming down from the sky.
Yeah, I would say look it up. Yes, look up train sounds. Don't look up videos of tornado because you don't know what it sounds like until you are in your house.
That's true.
And there's one on top of you. Because I promise you, the sound on a video with some dude standing 3 miles away from it is not the sound you hear when it's hitting your house on top of you. It seriously, it sounds like there's 15 trains just blaring horns in your ears. And it seriously got right next to our house and it just lifted up. It seriously jumped right over us and went into the field next to us.
It literally jumped across the street. Here's the thing. We live a mile away from each other, and we didn't know this until we got together.
Yeah.
So, literally, my house, a mile away from his house, like the tornado jumps the highway and touches down pretty close to my house. Yeah. It completely destroyed the house across the street. Like, it completely flattened it for me.
Yeah, there was 3, it took out 3 whole houses, and someone actually died on my street.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was extremely
I wasn't
intense.
home, so do you have any more?
No, that was the main one. It just there was so much. It took out our roof. I think it was an EF2 or EF3. I think it was a 3. Yeah, it was a 3 because it flattened 3 houses and it killed somebody. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mine. Like we got so like I've never heard my mother pray out loud. She's not a religious person at all. If you ever met my mother, that's the only time I heard her pray out loud. And yeah, I believed in God from that day forward. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Like that's That if you never had the fear of God,
especially experiencing that so young.
Oh yeah, dude. I was like 10. I was
terrifying.
In 4th grade. It was so crazy.
That was probably the tornado experience when I was in the city.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. I was young.
How old were you?
I wasn't in kindergarten yet.
5 years older than you. Yeah. That's probably pretty close.
It was probably pretty close.
But we all experienced it from 3 different point of views.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. All right, so
for mine, I experienced that same tornado because, like I said, we lived a mile away from each other.
Yeah.
At that time, my parents had been married for a little over a year or 2 years. We didn't have a shelter yet, so we were at my Nana's, which is about 3 miles from my house, so about 4 miles from where he was. I had gotten out of school that day, and like he said, the air was just really thick, like you could feel it. And I got home. I was at my Nana and Papa's house. My Papa, he is a junker. He hauls junk stuff, cars. He was like, we gotta go get this thing and then we'll come back. And so me being as young as I was, I didn't really have a say. So I went with him. And I remember being in the truck listening to the radio, and it's headed towards Shawnee, it's headed over here. Having the one go through our town is incredible. Horrible, but incredible. But I remember getting home, and the air was just so thick, man. And both of my parents were there. I ran up to my mom. My mom was freaking out. I had to go to the bathroom, so I ran into the house. The tornado wasn't here yet, but you could feel it, and you could feel the wind, and I could hear it, and it sounded like a train, headed straight for you.
Yeah.
And I remember walking out of the house. The house was on a pretty big hill. It was on the top of the biggest hill on this road. And I remember walking out of the house, and it looked straight to where the tornado was, and I could see it. And I've only seen clouds like this one other time, and that's how I know that there was definitely another tornado in our town. But I could see it, and it was massive, and I could hear it, and I could feel it, and it was so incredible and literally breathtaking. I was full of fear, full of amazement, full of wonder. I didn't want to run from it, as crazy as that sounds. I just wanted to stand there and watch it, because I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, Glenn Powell has a quote in the new Twisters when they're at the rodeo, and he's talking about he saw it with his mom, and he said he was supposed to be scared, and he was terrified, but he was also just so. When
he looked at his mom, that's when he realized he was supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
And he was.
But he was also way more interested and excited by it.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I felt.
That's exactly how it is, yeah.
And I have craved that feeling ever since. So I'm so serious. If there's any storm chaser in Oklahoma that sees this video, please, you'd be fulfilling a childhood dream of mine. That was the first one that I saw.
EF5.
Please, for the love of God, no.
Not that. Not that.
But I would just love to do that. The second one was years later. My sister wasn't very old, maybe 3 or 4. And the clouds for that tornado and for the one I'm about to tell you about were so thick and black. They were black clouds. It looked like it was night outside. It was 5, 6 o'clock, and it was pitch black outside. I've never seen anything like that. It was so dark, and it was so crazy to see that kind of darkness in the middle of the day. And I had never seen clouds like that before. And like I said, it was just so crazy. The second one, same clouds, pitch black clouds, massive. And I barely saw that one. And it was close. It was so close. It was 4 miles south of where we were. And from my house, my neighbor's house was pretty far in front of my house, but I had a fantastic view south, facing Texas. And I remember poking my head, my dad standing outside the storm cellar. It's pouring rain, but it's light enough outside. It was just the storm's over here, but the sun's over here. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it was like that. Just the darkness from the storm and the sun from the sun. And I could see the same tornado. I could see the funnel dropping from the sky 4 or 5 miles from my house, and it was insane. And I only saw it for a few seconds because my dad was like, "Get in the cellar!" And I was like, "But that!" It was crazy.
Very crazy stories. Tornadoes are crazy. If anybody not from Oklahoma sees this,
tornadoes are crazy.
Or anywhere in Tornado Alley. If you haven't experienced a tornado, don't go out and find one unless
let it find you.
Don't let it find
you. Don't do that either.
Get somewhere safe.
Somewhere safe. If you can view it safely, go ahead.
Yeah. Twisters this Twisters.
I'm also not a professional, so maybe don't listen to me.
Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yes. Twisters does a really good job of showing how powerful and dangerous they are, even more so than the first Twister, I think.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think the tornadoes in this and how they look are way more accurate.
they look a lot. Well, the CGI is just
That's
better.
also
It's
the
just
CGI
it's
is
just time.
phenomenal.
And the other thing too is like they get so close to the tornadoes in the first. They get close to them in this one, but
Yeah.
like they get so close to them in the first one that it's like almost unbelievable how close you could get without getting killed by something.
Yeah,
Because there's almost no debris in the first one. Like all these big ass tornadoes, there's like no debris with them.
it's just like big debris. Like there's a house that topples over. There's a tractor. Like
Speaking of debris,
there was no cow in this movie.
yeah.
I'll take a picture and
Always make it the thumbnail.
This-
That'll be the thumbnail, yeah.
there's no
cow.
there's no fucking cow. Why?
Because one of the most famous scene from the first one is like
Cow.
There's a
There's a cow flying
There's a cow flying
across
in
the
a tornado.
screen.
And
She's like, cow.
and then it flies back
And
by.
they just watch it. And
and
it comes back.
like,
She's
oh,
like,
another cow.
another cow. And
I
then,
think that's the same one.
yeah, I think that's the same cow.
I would. That would have been the best reference. Or like
That,
you can.
I needed to see one cow standing in a field, and that would have been enough.
The only thing that I maybe could be a reference is they hit a chicken coop, and he's like, "Oh, I think I killed some chickens,"
Yes.
and then one chicken survives and just lands like a superhero landing on top of the on top of this truck.
Yeah. That
And
was pretty funny. I think that was.
That
supposed to
might
be
have been a
but-
reference. I don't know for sure,
But it's not a cow.
It wasn't a cow.
Got beef.
They filmed all over small towns in Oklahoma. I did not see one cow. They did go to a rodeo. That is.
That's the
bulls.
only time I saw a cow.
Yeah,
That was it.
Bulls.
And not one.
Wait,
They were at a rodeo, and I didn't see the
Yeah.
damn thing fly.
Yeah, they were at
Or the
rodeo.
horse. Like, that. I saw the truck fly, but that was across the street. What about the cow?
So what you're saying is you'd much rather.
The cow would have been fine.
No, I'm not. I'm saying this. I'm saying this to the
Maybe.
directors of the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You would much rather watch humans die than cows. And before you answer yes, because that's the right answer, you gotta risk a little bit.
Yeah, they probably just didn't want PETA on their ass. You know what I'm saying? Or
Probably.
or dairy farmers. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But Twitch was
Damn
great.
vegans would have been boycotting the movie.
I think we've said all we really can about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next,
I don't actually hate vegans. Let me clarify. I just said it for the
I
video.
actually do.
that. I'm indifferent on vegans. I'm the middle ground. I really don't care.
You're dead.
When you hear from us next, we will be seeing Deadpool and Wolverine.
The best
this
movie to ever come
week.
out this year.
I can't say that for sure, but all reviews point to
Yes.
abso-fucking-lutely.
This might be the first 5 out of 5 on the Goop scale.
Let's not lie. It probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so man, that's it for Okie Pop
Yeah.
this week.
Yep.
Wraps. All right, let's get out of here.